Dinemakinituk, Nigani aki, Inindigo, Kinyo, Dotem Saki, Donji. Chiboy Abchitoran in Isiki Tademstigos. The Gamano gaining Abchitonani Gagi, Mini goes at gain and Anishinaabe Chigita, Chinon Dagos at Kavi. Mianish, Minikin and Daguk, Oyagakskitochi, Anishinaabe. The tam, the Nakama, Mina, got the bending at Madizivan. Me way Germany do. We got Sindina, he gave me not Anishinaabe, Kinagego, Chayat me way, Minupe Madizivan. Kimina, Nibugego Gavin, Chimikaut is it. Kiminage in Anishinaabe goes it. Ske nongom kamandaman Nibia Akuzivan. Nibia Zegazin nongom. Yamagak Nibia Gego Akuzivan. Migwach de I dinagain Mitake. Kinanishka Mige and Kenagego. Ani Kenina when Chon Dad is young. We siniwen, Nippe, Miskikian, Moshke, Knamaget, Miterke. Miguachken, the Naknimishom Situk, Gagi, Wikumanda, Wepaganak, Kanabiat, Wahbanung, Shawanung, Nigabianung, Sugetnum, Chibijich Koyang, Wenongum guys at Chigayan. Chicago went the Magang Genina went Tanin Maya. It's when me goes at Gain and Anishinaabe and Ibugagi, Gagis and Eminent. My dear relatives, let me begin by first of all thanking each and every one of you who have answered the call for our presentation here today. This is not an ordinary day, but a day for reflection, a day to build hope, a day to be much more united. What we are witnessing globally is unprecedented times. The coronavirus has raised many issues. We are living and witnessing what our visionaries spoke about in prophecy. We have reached these times. One of the most dangerous outcomes has been the fear and the panic. How would our ancestors have responded to these times? They would be calm and approach things with gentleness and confidence. They would say, "We are not alone, and we have never been alone. The ancestors are here with us to take us forward." They would say, "Why are you afraid? Do you not believe? Did you really think you were in control and could overpower nature?" These are natural consequences that we have helped create. Nature is only returning the poisons we have put into her, the abuse we have inflicted on her. It's a time of reckoning now. We have to stop with this fear, stop feeling sorry for ourselves. We have allowed our minds to take over from the spirit. Now we have become weak. The food you have eaten has made you sick. The water today is filled with so much poisons. You have contaminated the air. Now you have climate change. It's like we're caught in a runaway train leading to nowhere. That's the fear, knowing we are going nowhere fast. We cannot struggle against the natural force of the earth. Today, we are encouraged more than ever to never overstep the spirit in whatever challenges that we may face. In our world as indigenous people, we have faced many challenges And we will move on with the spirit of hope and faith in the spiritual realm. The elders have requested we do a special ceremony in regards to the issue of COVID-19. Given what is happening out there with the fear and the panic, there is even more reason why we must proceed with a strong faith and belief. It has always been by using our gifts to invoke the help of Spirit that we begin. This COVID-19 has created a lot of fear and uncertainty. In the spiritual world, there is never uncertainty. Never. Spirit never changes. It has always been there to support life. We need to connect with that spiritual realm. There is always a road to the problems, challenges, and sicknesses we may face. We are being told in our lodges that this virus was unleashed by the animal world because of our abuse against nature, represented by the animal world. We must feel what we have done to nature. Now we run scared. We can run, but we cannot hide. We are being held accountable by natural law. Today we are proud to present a follow-up document to the 1971 Wahbanung paper, and it has taken a lot of effort and ceremony to create this document, an initiative that we entitled Wahbanung, the Resurgence of a People, Clearing the Path for Our Survival. Wahbanung is the East, the rising sun, the place of birth and beginning. What we have done in this initiative is to highlight our true identity as a unique, distinctive, beautiful people. We have highlighted leadership, a leadership that comes with very distinctive duties and responsibilities, a path if followed that can take us out of the current colonial environment that we are living. The resurgence of our people took hold in the late 60s and the early 70s, and I remember these times. The law of prohibition was lifted in the 50s. So much damage had already been done. Most would not remember the ancestral ways, the songs, the ceremonies, and the language. These would be very hard times for us culturally. There were those amongst our nations that remained faithful in keeping our language alive, our ceremonies alive. Today we acknowledge their dedication and their courage. They have carried the hope for the future, and now we are here to reflect once again the path that we need to choose. This whole process of Wahbanung and now Wahbanung that we have been involved with began with a ceremony done in 1971 by the late Louis Prince. My father was given a name, a headdress, and a pipe, and initiated as a leader. And the Spirit was invoked to support the work of the leaders of that time. What I have come to realize is how significant and important that ceremony done by the late Louis Prince really was. Harry and I were present, and we have shared the story many times. We remember the instructions the elder gave to the leader being honored. The message was simple: help open the door for the people to return to their way of life. A door was opened by the leaders of that time to restore self-determination and unity as a people through walking the path of our identity as Anishinaabe, through our ceremonies, our languages, and our way of life. Unfortunately, there were not many who took advantage of this. The movement became focused on challenging the governments and institutions that had a deep impact on our oppression. Not much has changed. The legislation of the Indian Act continues to overrule our independence and our right of autonomy. We decided together as the authors of this document that to proceed today was in the spirit of the document itself. We are presenting our way of life that has helped our people for tens of thousands of years. My father always reminded us, never, ever run away from a problem. You meet it, you deal with it in a good way. You can run, but there is nowhere you can hide from yourself. There is nowhere you can hide from Mother Earth. Our decision to move ahead today was to show faith in a higher power, to know our ancestors are here with us today, to offer their continued guidance. The gifts we hold, we embrace by using them. We are not alone, and we will never be alone. Each of us is given a certain amount of time to live in this human life. This is our Creator's promise. What we focus on in each breath of life that we are given, it is always a moment of opportunity to do something good, to serve a greater purpose. Clearing the path was removing these obstacles that prevent us from living a simple, good way of life that we call ཌ훼ºန့. We focused on our spiritual identity. We focused on our way of life. We focused on our laws. We focused on our duties and responsibilities. We focused on the importance of our ceremonies. We focused on the faith required to rebuilding ourselves, our families, our communities, and our nation. The choice is in each of us to make freely. Our position that we share in Wahbanung is not meant for the external forces that try to keep us controlled within their legislation. Wahbanung is about us as a people. It is meant as a message for our people. It is about defining our true identity as Anishinaabe people. I am not a Canadian. I am Anishinaabe. Canadians should not feel offended because we claim our right of leadership in our homeland. In these current times, we are overwhelmed with so many issues, and it's easy to lose sight of our true purpose and our responsibilities of leadership. Social media has become a huge distraction. Our children are addicted to it now. Our children are not feeling the land, and they're being locked up in those stuffy classrooms. Is not helping the spirit of our children. Our hospitals, our schools, our pharmacy, and our education comes from the land. The land is where we learn about life, where we get life from. The so-called taxpayers of this country see us as a burden, as a waste of resources. Obviously, they fail to remember who helped them to survive when their ancestors arrived. They moved in with a vengeance to conquer the land and all her resources. And the same attitude continues. Now we have climate change and coronavirus. In the great wisdom of the elders, we are encouraged to return to our sacred places to find the directions we will need to confront these challenges. Everything begins with spirit. Our position is to establish our true leadership with the full autonomy of deciding our own destiny and our own future. This leadership must be based upon the spirit of our ancestors lived. Modeling colonial leadership disconnects us from our identity and our autonomy. This document was not made for the government. It was made for the people. And what we are proposing does not need the validation or approval from any of those that are oppressing us. We need to establish our own leadership now. And we exercise our leadership by supporting our identity that has the knowledge and the understanding of what reflects who we are, the unique, distinctive, free and independent original people that are the true leaders of our homeland. We need to stop acting from a marginalized position, engaging with the colonizer from a defeatist perspective, and always asking for our rights and submitting ourselves to be continuously treated with disrespect. Our position is about spirit and leadership. Our position is about a knowledge and understanding that we can offer that can help the world to heal and to transcend cycles of domination and victimization, war, and climate change. Our brothers and sisters came from immigrants, and we had welcomed them, not for them to take our homes in our homeland, but to work to help create a new world of understanding, uniting the uniqueness of the cultures of people from all over Mother Earth. Our ancestors had true models of leadership for everyone: the mother, the father, the elders, and the parents. Leadership begins with each of us. Leadership is never meant to reflect a rise to power, but rather a surrender to the support of the laws of the Creator and the laws of the land. Our way of life encourages each of us to become independent by being true to your own spirit. Then you naturally fit into the collective of the vision of the people who have found and who are living in freedom. The position we have proposed in Wahbanung may seem radical to some, to make a sudden shift from what we have become accustomed to. However, if we choose to remain in the current environment of domination, we will also become victims of the same attitude of greed and power. Our ancestors always knew our survival was in the hands of Mother Earth. She always operated on the principle of balance and harmony. This harmony tends to disconnect and not harmonize with the laws of nature. To those who choose to help us, we do not go to them with cap in hand, but rather create an opportunity for them to truly give unconditionally. The question has been asked so much: whose side do you stand on? The initiative of Wahbanung is about standing with the great laws of the Creator and the great laws of Mother Earth. How we are ensured continued breath of life is by living life in a good way. And that is with complete kindness, giving and sharing. Central to the giving and sharing are our children and our elders. We need to put some perspective to what is happening out there. What must prevail is common sense. Fear does not seem to have respect for common sense. We must approach this virus using a much more holistic approach. Nature is bringing us together from all walks of life to build a humanity we want, a peaceful, loving people. We all have the God-given capacity to show and live in kindness. One of our most powerful gifts that we have been given is our natural immune system, our best defense that offers strength to the body. Our mental attitude must meet these challenges with grace. Fear and worry will not be supportive of their natural defense mechanisms. Our emotional well-being and peace of mind affects our natural immune system. People who suffer from emotional abuse tend to have a very low self-esteem, show personality changes such as becoming withdrawn, and may even become depressed, anxious, or suicidal. The thoughts we have in our mind can affect our whole being. The Earth's energy on the principle of the Earth's energy operates on the principle of the positive. A strong feeling such as love, anger, joy, hate, or fear is accompanied by a physical reaction. We have severely harmed and weakened our best defense mechanism. We have compromised our health and wellness. The overuse of antibiotics makes them less and less effective. The foods we have consumed have made us severely weak and unhealthy. The processed foods filled with chemicals that have attacked our bodies with a vengeance. Sugar is deadly, and it seems that it's been added to most food that we're eating. And obesity has become one of the symptoms of this. We are not drinking the most natural medicine to keep the body clean. Water. The water needs to be blessed with spirit and prayer. The water we are drinking is not as pure as it was during the time of our ancestors. We have polluted the most important elements we need to live. The air is contaminated with such an increase in carbon dioxide. The gift of air carries our thoughts, our words, and our messages. The drum is a good example of the air carrying the sound of the heartbeat of the earth and of our own heartbeats. The sedentary life we are living weakens our immune system. Also, the medicines that are natural need to be brought back immediately. Most of our medicines are for preventative, to clean the blood, cleanse the body, and support our natural immune system. There's a storm out there, and we need to learn to ride that storm. We are living, witnessing nature doing its own cleansing. We must be in support of that. We must welcome a call on Mother Earth that encourages us to change our attitudes, our behaviors that are selfish and greedy. What we all need more than ever is faith, belief, and a good understanding. The first thing we must remove from our minds is fear, or else you will have an overstock of toilet paper. We need to clear our minds and bodies. Continuing to play politics with our lives will not resolve what we need the most. We need connection to the spirit and the land. We need to spend more time on the land and within the sacred lodges of our people. It really is a time to heal. Let us join the spirit of Mother Earth as she heals, that we will also heal with her. What will keep us alive is doing the work the Creator expects us to do. Stop chasing what doesn't give you life. Stop running away. Wahbanung is encouraging all of us to take full responsibility, beginning with our leadership and most importantly, to immediately offer support to the youth, to be given a full immersion process, learning from the elders and the knowledge keepers. Where our efforts should be put is on our survival. Not only do we consider physical survival, but also our spiritual survival. We must act like a true nation. And to do that, we begin by knowing who we are as Anishinaabe people. We have a language. We have a knowledge. We have an understanding of our duties and responsibilities as a free and independent people. We must move out of being called and looking at ourselves as Indians. I'm not proposing taking a political position, but rather a spiritual one. We have to do what we need to do without seeking validation from the colonized government. We do it without confrontation, but fully, peacefully. The law of spirit does not respond to anger, confrontation, nor, of course, violence. This is about change, and changes are not immediate. Change has to start somewhere. And we propose the first step is returning to the beginning, which we have outlined within the document. It's going to take faith. It's going to take responsibility. It's going to take work and effort on our part. A good part of our problems is that we are living in an environment of dependency. We have allowed external forces to take over our lives. Our leadership must be led by the gifts we were given by our great Creator. The sacred pipes need to be lifted in humbleness to invoke the Spirit to come within our presence with whatever actions and initiatives that we will embark on. Our concentration should be on implementing our perspectives and models of healing and creating our own traditional ancestral educational systems to teach their children their identity that comes with sacred duties and responsibilities. To our understanding, there are no separations. We are all one people. We have been created as one people living here in our home we call Mother Earth. There is no Manitoba. There is no Ontario. There is no Saskatchewan. On and on. Those are just imaginary boundaries of separation. The work that we must do must begin with each of our communities. And it should be as a collective in sharing and helping each other. Putting energy to change a system is really meaningless. Change will happen when we build our own new narrative from the ground up, of course led by the Spirit itself. To try to convince those in power and control, one has to surrender that most have become instruments of the economic structures that are very entrenched. What are lacking are the values needed to act as a foundation of what we do, what we create, how we treat each other, and how we share the land, and how we share everything. It's all about respect. The value of respect has been completely thrown out the window, and we open the door to allow greed to enter. Money has become the god of our time. We equate survival with money. I heard one said, that money that you treasure so much will not be worth much when the changes come. You will be lucky to use it as a bit of fuel to singe the hair of the little animals and creatures that they may be left for you to eat. It is not money we need. We need more actions of kindness, more love shown to the land. We cannot continue to be silent and not expressing our perspective as a people. Our perspective must be shared with respect and kindness. This is the strength as a people. We have been able to create partnerships with the full spirit of autonomy and our identity as a people. We have developed relationships that show that we now have an equal voice in determining what we believe will best support the health and wellness of our people. Here in this community, we have created a healing place called Ç'î in Pine Falls Hospital. We have introduced our own medicines, created sharing circles for healing, built sacred fires, harbors in the local 4 communities for community members to share and to heal. The elders have accepted to take the full leadership of Ç'î, and much of the elders are volunteering their time. If real change is going to happen, it must come directly from the people that are directly impacted with the symptoms of genocide. Money is not going to buy us out of this mess. It's going to take spirit. Spirit will provide whatever we will need to deal with the many challenges, such as this recent coronavirus. One has to understand this is nature at work. What's the lesson here? Mother Earth is releasing her sickness. Has it not helped wake us up a bit from the deep sleep of arrogance we are in? Isn't it about perspective? What's most important in life is family. You cannot live life in fear and panic. Let me repeat that. You cannot live life in fear or panic. We need to live in faith with the Spirit. As much as we are concerned with our physical survival, we must also focus on our spiritual survival. This is where the guidance will come from, not from institutions made by man. There are definitely 2 unique paths, and we have attempted to define a path that we have full faith and believe in, that we need to walk on. It is a path that will require a strong faith and belief. We will need to believe in ourselves. Family means everything, and we must walk this road together. Mothers, strengthening our families, strengthening and supporting the role of our mothers and our grandmothers. We have to put them back into their rightful role as the life givers. More than anyone, it is the mothers that need to have faith and belief in themselves, that they have been provided with the gift to guide our children to a good life. Central to having a good life is the child. Everything we do and must do must be for the child. We are reintroducing the Mother Earth Lodge later this year, that one of our grandmothers will share more about as part of our initiative to support the return of the role of Țiმინătorii, the life givers, to their place and influence in leading and guiding our children. This is our most important priority as a people today. I just want to personally acknowledge my partner that left about a month ago. You know, she was the half of the lodge. I could not have been able to fulfill my dream of this lodge without her. And she left us a legacy that can help all of us, a lodge that she put on for young girls and women. We want to take our children out of foster care. We have a way. It's the Mother Earth Lodge. Teach the young girls how to take care of their children. Reclaim that right of sacred duty and responsibility. And we hope that you will answer that call. Mary will talk a bit about it more. The systems that we depend on so much are being shut down. The children have been freed from being captive in these school environments. Nature has pulled them out and taken them back to their parents, helping bring back the family. Parents need to teach their children. People are encouraged to stay home, a reprieve from the hustle and the bustle and the life of speed. Obviously, we have not reached our true destiny as humanity. We are still in a learning curve. Much of what nature is taking us through is only to help us to come to terms with our negative behaviors. Over the years that I've been involved in ceremonies and working towards living our identity as the original people of our homeland, what has become abundantly clear: to survive, we cannot do it without ceremony. Ceremony has always been our way of life, as we live as close as we can to the values of our ancestors. Doing ceremonies on the land has brought us back to remember our instructions and respecting and taking care of the land. There's absolutely no doubt that we must return more and do more ceremony on the land. This is what will ground us and what will help us to find balance within ourselves. If we continue to do the same things with our current struggles and not return to the land for healing, we will never get better. Our current lifestyle is a complete imitation of a world. It is understandable how easy it is to get lost in this overwhelming world of materialism. It's very seductive. It takes away our vision. We can become blinded by all these comforts. We become totally dependent on the system. We have to let go. Our own duties and responsibilities are and being balanced human beings. We've been overtaken by sicknesses. We seem to have no defense to help these crippling diseases. So we just succumb to the healthcare system. It's just preparing for the inevitable death with much suffering. If we take a quick snapshot of our communities, we see and feel people in despair. The community is fragmented for many reasons. The community never moves forward. The ones put in positions of leadership continue to administer colonized systems, education, band office, health department, and many other systems. Child welfare, of all the colonial thought, there is no reflection of the original ways of our ancestors. What is most troubling is the loss of our values as a peaceful people. We have replaced the sacred values with selfishness and adopted the worst, greed, because of materialism. There's no spirit of unity, only division and separation from each other. We have become suspect of each other's motives. If there is any hope, it lies in the next generation of leaders. These young people need to be educated in the ways of their people. They have to return to the rites of passage from going to youth and becoming adults. They have to be brought back into the lodges to help carry the teachings. We have to make an immediate investment to support a new leadership. This leadership must emerge from the lodges of our people. Time is running out. There is no time to waste and no room for doubt or fear. We have to let go of our anger, our fears, and our doubts and get to work, building a world that defines our way of life. That way of life comes with duties and responsibilities. Centered in these duties are the children, the elderly. Whatever we choose to do must be for the benefit of all children, because our children deserve the right to know their true identity. Let go of colonial education and have faith on the knowledge of our knowledge keepers. I believe the main reason we have not been able to let go of the colonial systems is because it creates employment for a few, and they are not prepared to let their paychecks go, so they're quite content to let things be. Don't rock the boat. And I know that many of us have been criticized, for offering those kind of comments, but it's only what we see, why we say that it needs to be said. This idea still prevails. This idea still prevails, and who have made it into the system. If I can do it, you can do it. We become deaf to the cries of our children. We hold on to this false hope that our white brothers' education will be the panacea for our survival and success. We never stop and look at what is our way of life and what has been done to dehumanize us as a people, such as ourselves. Their way of living is our way of dying. Their way is a way to destroy life. Why in the world do we want our children to learn how to exploit the land and to learn about another's culture supremacy? It's twisted history that holds no truth, only domination filled with lies. There's a biblical saying that is a universal truth. The truth will set you free. We hold on to that truth. We hold on to the strong foundation of teachings and the laws and values of our ancestors. When we have finally connected to the Spirit is when we will become free. Spirit is about life. It's about love. It's about kindness. And it's about our spiritual survival. As a people, we have had to endure the invasion of our lands and the destroying of our cultures with a vengeance. Yes, in spite of all of these attempts, it has not worked. The attempt to destroy the spirit of the people connected to the spirit of the land has not worked, and it will never work. The spirit of the people have survived, granted not without a lot of tremendous collateral damage. We are still living with the impacts of this deliberate attempt to destroy the lands of our people. With this terrible experience, we have learned so much, most of all, how powerful that the Spirit is and can be. We would not have arrived today with our way of life intact without the Spirit guiding us and by staying connected to the land. The greatest lesson we have learned has been seeing what a powerful way of life the Creator has blessed us with. Because of our closeness to the land, we have been able to feel the spirit of love that is beyond words. It is an intense feeling of joy and happiness. The land is everything. We have become the land. There is nothing more peaceful than sitting by the trees, listening to the sounds of nature speaking to each other. And there are many different languages. You quickly feel how connected and related we are all to life. From deep inside, you feel that every living being has a purpose. As you walk into the forest, you smell the sweetness of the smell of the land, a smell that becomes imprinted upon your whole being. As you come to a river, to a lake, you feel the power of the water. It has a powerful spirit. It will go wherever it wants to go. The sound of the gentle waves from a gentle wind is almost hypnotic, relieving your burdens, comforting and healing you. And all this madness that we are witnessing today is a total reflection of many involved being disconnected from the Spirit. There is no talk of Spirit. The problem is spiritual identity. We keep looking for our answers from outside our true identity, using methods that are not our own, such as civil disobedience. We will continue to be lost in this darkness unless we find the light of our lodges and return to our powerful way of life that has the answers to our dilemma. We have reached a time of reckoning, a critical time for choices to be made. For most, they will stay in denial, believing that the systems they have created will save them. What we seem to be witnessing is massive global suicide. Deep down inside, to those who have any sense of sanity, we instinctively know we are in a lot of trouble. The problem we have, it has become so overwhelming, we feel that there's nothing any of us can do. We reach that sense of hopelessness. Some will turn to protest, and sometimes major protests. Well, it doesn't work. What has always been missing in the conversation is spirit, an element that has yet to be fully accepted and understood. This is where the land becomes everything, the true teacher for life. The challenge with returning to the land means having to let go of what has given us so much comfort and false freedom. There will be a need for a sacrifice most are not willing to make. No matter how we can lessen the blow of the earth changes that are coming, the fact remains. If we're going to survive, we have to totally rely on Mother Earth. It will not be about money anymore. It will be about water. It will be about clean air. It will be about food. It will be about the sacred fire. Somehow, through the great love of Mother Earth, she will ensure the cleansing she needs to do as she corrects us, teaches us, and restores her balance. The dilemma we face is making our own personal choices on what we do. The first and most important thing to do is to connect with your own individual spirit. It will require ceremony led by indigenous peoples. This is our gift and responsibility. One would have to make their way to the lodges, and within the lodges would begin one initiation to the land. One cannot go to the land without this initiation and education. I just want to conclude here. Again, offering my gratitude to each of you. I hope that what we have done in producing this document would help all people. The Turtle Lodge has always been inclusive to all people. Has always had the door open for everyone to come. We never rejected anyone, because there is no prejudice in spirit. So we shouldn't have that either as human beings. And I hope that you're able to spread the message as much as you can, because it is within the sacred lodges that you will hear the truth. Sometimes it's hard to hear, but it has to be said, not to hurt anyone, but for us to consider the way that we are living. We have to change. And if we're able to come together motivated by the love that we should have for our children, then we should do everything that we can to collectively help each other, that we center our children again and allow our children to come back home. They can't come back home right now because there's nothing there for them yet. That's the work we have to do, to prepare these places and prepare the mothers, teach the mothers, the fathers, what it means to have a family. That's what the lodge is about. That's what healing is about. That's what health is about. The last place we need to go is to go to government. We need to come here. We need to hear that drum. We need to hear the elders speak. That's where the truth is. I'm going to call on my brother Harry, to offer, his perspective. Harry and I were there when the ceremony was done for my father. And we shared that story many times. But I'm going to ask Harry to come, and offer his perspective, of his life and where he finds himself, or continues to find himself in this movement that we've been involved with since we're just young. Dr. Harry Bone.